Hello and welcome to Pitt Beyond the Script alongside head coach Pat Narduzzi. I'm Rob King of AT&T Sportsnet. Panthers defeating Virginia Tech 52-22. An interesting Saturday because you made no bones about it. You really wanted to win this game based on what had happened the year before. It was senior day. A lot of emotions going on in that game.
No doubt about it. I think probably more emotions about the senior day than last year's game. I mean, there wasn't a ton of talk about it, but I think, under your breath, you kind of know what happened a year ago. You felt like you had a chance to win that game and kind of messed it up, as coaches and players. And I think there's always a little bit of, always a look in the rearview mirror and find out what happened in the past. But, senior day, that was a great way to let our seniors go out. They'll have some great memories in the past, in the future about, how that game went.
A day of big plays. One of the first, the long hookup between Kenny Pickett and Maurice French, 78 yards.
And it's pulled in, and that is Maurice French on his way. Panthers touchdown.
Did you catch them maybe trying to stop that run of yours, or how did that play develop?
Well, I mean, we'd had, what we call shots in, really all year, and sometimes you hit them and sometimes you don't, but it was a great route by Maurice and a great throw by Kenny.
You talk about your team and the resilience. That's been something you've talked about all year. We've seen it not only from game to game, from the beginning of the season to this point, but within games. There was a moment, the fumble, Virginia Tech scores at 17-7, and you're thinking, well, the momentum might swing their way. But you guys responded with a terrific drive and another Maurice French touchdown.
No question about it. You felt pretty good that we could move the ball based on what you saw, early in that game. But I told our kids, you have a 14-point swing like that. We should have had 7. They got 7. That's 14 points. And I told them at the team meeting on Sunday that can't happen again. I mean, we cannot turn the ball over like that. We can't let those things happen because it'll catch up to you eventually.
Great stop by the defense, and I want to ask you about the defense coming up in a little bit, but one more score before the half. I thought this was a big score as well. You get the long pass to Tazier Mack, and then you get your fullback involved, right? He spends all that time blocking, and we're going to talk about Hall and Olsen, but were you happy to see Aston get into the end zone?
No doubt about it.
Pickett turns, gives to Aston. He's in for the Panthers touchdown.
He would just rather block, but, he loved that opportunity. I think he scored 10 touchdowns a couple years ago, so for him to get into the pay dirt there was good to see.
You talked about all the big plays. Tazier Mack was another one.
Over the shoulder catch in tight coverage. Tazier Mack, the sophomore from Brooklyn. Another big play.
You guys have really come up with a ton of big plays over the last few games.
Yeah, we have. I don't know why. I mean, you wish you would have known why. I would have done it a long time ago. Our kids are making plays. Maybe it's the timing. Maybe it's having some guys back healthy. But in the run game, we were hitting it and we're blocking at a high rate. And I'm not just talking knocking people off the ball, but we're getting the right people on the right guys, and I think that's part of it.
What did you see in Darren Hall's long touchdown run?
Saw execution of blocking. I mean, it comes down to blocking, and the same thing with Olsen. I mean, we talk about being your own blocker. He was his own blocker with that stiff arm, one of those you see on Sunday. But, just a great execution, and you got a hat on a hat. We always talk about there's 11 over there. We've got 11. We've got to get somebody on each one of those guys, and sometimes you can't block them all. But when we put them all in the box and we don't have any receivers out there, you can block them all. And it's all up to the O-line to put their hat on somebody. And, I mean, sometimes you're drawing them and it's perfect. And that's, we had that happen. I remember play Georgia Tech early in the year, and you're like, oh, that's great, do it again. And Olsen walked in the end zone. There's some of those that we could diagram up after the season's over and go, look at this. It's perfection.
You see Darren Hall running for 73 yards. It's not too often. That's not the longest run of the day. It was 24 yards short of Olesen's 97-yarder. And that stiff arm, it did look like a certain Steelers Vance McDonald play from earlier this year.
It sure did on the sideline. I remember that play. I enjoyed watching him. I was like, who is this 89 guy? Is it 89?
Yes, that's right.
You're like, who is that? I haven't seen that guy before, but now you see him every Sunday.
Pickett's going to hand the ball to him at the goal line. He breaks it. He's on his way. We got a foot race, 25-30, 35-40, and he takes on a defender. Still on his feet. He broke it. He's going. He's going. Olsen is gone. A 97-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, that was a great run, and 90, longest run in school history. Pretty incredible.
You're on the verge. A couple games left here. Olsen's already gone over 1,000. You've never had 2,000-yard rushers in the same season. Hall is closing in. The two of them have been so unselfish. What sort of message does that send to the rest of the team, and how special is that to see that at two running backs like that?
Well, on our winners meeting, we have a little symbol that talks about, or really means selflessness. And I just hope all our young guys are paying attention to that, because the world we live in nowadays, you know, it's always about me, 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 me. And, you know, those two guys are so giving, they don't care. I mean, Olson a year ago playing fullback a lot when Darren Hall was, you know, George is out and he's playing a lot of the F. I don't know if he knew it or not, but he didn't care. And doing a great job blocking for Darren Hall late in the season, even at the Duke game in 2017. And it's incredible. And again, like I said, I hope everybody learns a lesson of how to win. You have to be a team. You got to play together, and you can't worry about me. You got to worry about, you know, the complete team.
Well, led by those unselfish running backs, the Panthers are now bowl eligible and one win away from claiming the ACC's Coastal Division crown. We'll talk about that when Pitt Beyond the Script resumes after this.